Gusset. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So today we're going to be installing a dual shear kit on the front end of this X3. We already did the rear with the Assault kit, and we're doing just the same today with the front. Assault Industries makes a really cool kit. Really nice fit and finish and all this stuff. Let me get it out of the box. Yeah, so I believe this side is going to be facing the bulkhead of the vehicle. So it's going to be facing the back of the vehicle, and it's going to go on just like that in there somewhere. So we're going to be doing that right now. Unboxing all this stuff. You know, there's a few tools that you're going to need. You're going to need, you know, an impact, a good impact, a drill with the, I believe it's 5/16 drill bit. My little guy, that's going to be used for all the Torx bits, and, you know, a 19mm wrench. I use this for the plastic clips, and your bulkhead kit. So yeah, let's get started. You know, I haven't done this before, so I might make mistakes. I don't know. I think I know how it's done. Yeah, let's get at it. So far so good, super easy. The only tricky thing is behind the headlight here on the fascia is, you see down there, there's a little, for the headlight adjustment, there's a T20 that bolts in that is pretty tricky to get to. That's about it. The rest, that was a T20, the rest are T30s and 10mm. We got 10mm here. So from this point, you know, I removed the 10mm from the bumper and the shock tower mount. Now I'm going to remove the shock. So I'm right about where I'm going to get off the ground, where these start moving. That's right where you want to be, just so there's no tension on the shocks. And we're going to remove these now. So I'm going to remove these, get these out of the way, and then after that I'll bungee this. I'll grab this thing, I'll pull it from here, get it up here. I'll lay down some shop rags so I don't scratch or hurt anything. And then I'm going to lay it up here, and then I'm going to bungee cord it so it stays up out of the way, and remove the bumper, and then we'll get to work on the A-arms, removing the A-arms. I'm going to remove the lower A-arms. The uppers can stay, but we're going to need all that stuff for adjustability, so let's get on it. You read the shirt right. So yeah, so this is where we're at so far. I've removed all these A-arm bolts. Really easy. These were all very, very tight, which I was surprised. Okay, I gotta remove the sway bar end link as well. That's 18, no problem there. I removed these upper ones. This was the bracket for it, so that's what that looks like. You know, I haven't really put any real hard miles on this thing, so it's not bent yet. But they do bend. It's not if, it's when. They are 100% gonna bend. So this is a must-have if you plan on keeping your X3 for a while. This bolt back here was super loose. So I did have one nut that was already maybe loose from factory or was loosening up. But yeah, just do it. This is a good time to do an overall hand-to-hand check on all the bolts. You know, just take a wrench to it and make sure they're all tight. But yeah, so remove these nuts. I'm already all the way off, and then we can move this A-arm out of the way. Pull this one after you remove the sway bar end link, and then we can put our gusset up here and start drilling the holes. We're gonna drill 6 holes. We're gonna Alright, so once you get to this point right here where you drop the lower A-arms and you got the uppers free as well, you're gonna cut these bolts. If you see here, it's like a piece of all thread. There's no shoulders on them, and if you really look, I mean, look how oval those holes are from factory. So definitely replacing those. But so to remove this, you know, cut these first. and then you can remove the 10 millimeters. These are going to be drilled out to the 5/16 bolts. And yeah, remove this. You might want to remove this guy right here, these 10 millimeters on each side, to remove this bolt to get around the smart lock. And that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so you know, the drill bit is 2164, where you're going to drill out for the 5/16 bolts that you're going to use for the new gusset kit. But, I mean, look from the factory, just how oval those are. And yeah, that's definitely not good. But anyway, so we're going to be fixing this. That's what we're really trying to fix, right? So, I mean, this is just stamped sheet metal. This is paper thin, and it's single shear. You just have a single bolt holding all those A-arms, and it's dancing around. So we're going to attach the new gusset kit with these two, and it'll line us up, and we'll get all the other bolt holes drilled out and get it going. Alright, so we've got to the point where we've drilled the bottom holes, and we've got that all good to go. I've started putting the gusset kit up here, and I'm going to use the bolts to help align it. Because we're going to be drilling some holes in this, and we want it all nice and square. This part of the gusset kit goes to the back of the machine, so it gives you that gap there, that, you know, because it is a tapered bulkhead, it's not completely flat. It comes with these new braces, and what I've seen out there is they actually go on this side of the gusset, and I don't know if that's completely true or not, because you would think you don't want these bolts pulling out, because now you have this big gusset. And I don't feel, there is bracing up here on this top section. That's what this 10 millimeter is. But there's no bracing down here on this side. I mean, it's completely sheet metal. And it does come with a new one somewhere. Here, here, and here. And this is the hardest one, because there is a backing plate to this right here, which actually makes this pretty rigid, as opposed to this really paper thin sheet metal, if you could see that. Anyhow, it comes with these new backing plates, and I saw somewhere that it's supposed to go here, and then the gusset goes over that. But that doesn't make sense to me, right? Because this is paper thin, and then you're gonna pull. You know, you're essentially pulling a nut through that, right, to the gusset, and so I'm gonna put it back here. I'm gonna put it just like that, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna back it. So for one, if you could see that the holes themselves, they go from an oval to a circle, okay, just by doing that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them as backing plates, as what they really should be, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this is what makes sense to me. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, and so for the upper rear gusset, I found it best. You know, you could start these on the front gusset kit right here. You could start the bolts, put the nuts on the back, don't tighten them so you still have some play, and literally just slide this one over. It'll go right over the A-arm. No problem. And then, you know, attach the two bolts that go on the back, and then the new hardware through these, and you're good to go. So it's really that easy. Okay, in order to get the bottom A-arm on, there's this bracket back here that holds the bolts, so you can tighten them, and we can fit a wrench back there, no problem. So you know, the problem is these bolts have to be able to slide back and forth in order to get the A-arms around that front gusset. So I'm going to cut this bracket right here on the sides, you can see that. I'm just gonna cut it right there. I'm gonna use a Sawzall. I'm just gonna cut it right there. And this is all that you're cutting out. You're just cutting it out from here, and it just captures the back of the bolt so it doesn't rotate. But now we can tighten it ourselves. So let's get this all lined up now and start wrapping her up. Now for this bottom bracket, since we cut this plate that held the bolts in place, we were able to push those nuts back, so then we could slide this top bracket on, and this thing just captures it and goes right on the front like that. And then you put your nuts on and you're good to go.
Huh?
All right, so now that I have the upper bracket in, this is all good. These bolts are in. The bottom one where I had to cut that bracket, that's all in. And then this is the bottom, and this is started. These aren't fully tight, and I haven't tightened these yet because this is where the bumper goes. But we're ready to start wrapping this thing up. You can start putting your sway bar in link back on, and yeah, she's good to go. And yeah, we're wrapping her up now. Everything's tight. It's a shame how nice of a piece that thing is, and it's tucked back way back there. I mean, it's hidden. But you still have complete access to all the grease fittings. And now is a great time to grease it since the fascia's off and we have full access. But that's how it looks. So we got rear gusset. Focus. Alright, so we got rear gusset. We got the front gusset for both lower and upper. And then the back gusset back there. Let's get a better look underneath. That's how it all looks. So, you know, this was a job. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Having help from somebody like your kid or something is very helpful. But yeah, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. Put the fascia back on. I'm gonna grease all these first and wrap her up. And we're all finished. So it wasn't that bad of a job. It does take some time. It took us about 4 hours or something. But you know, this is what you cut out. And you know, you got to keep in mind this thing's only been out, you know, it's got like 100 miles on it. So but this is what you cut out. It's paper thin. Look at that. And it's already bent. One of these was, you know, this one's pretty thick. This is what held the bolts. This one's severely bent. You look at that. So you replace all that with this. I mean, look at that thing. She's sexy. So that wraps up the back, and then, you know, the bottom, obviously. But I recommend this to every X3 owner. I mean, we did the back. Hopefully you saw that video. And now we did the front. This was a job, but so worth it. You know, you don't want to get stuck out there with you know, sheared bolts because they're flopping around or anything, and it just tightens up the steering. And man, I'm glad that's over with though. So next one is we're gonna be wrapping these guys up. We're gonna be putting some rubber on these guys and got something real special for them. So we'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned. You know, like, comment, subscribe, keep this channel growing, please. We need it. See you on the next one. Peace.